The opinions expressed in the Brothers-in-Law show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal professional legal advice.
Thanks for tuning in to Brothers-in-Law on Go Country 105. I'm Larry Mandel.
And I'm Rob Mandel.
And we've been trial attorneys here in Los Angeles for over 40 years.
On our show, we will discuss current events, talk about legal issues, and have some very entertaining guests stop by. So stay tuned every week for Brothers-in-Law right here on Go Country 105. All right, here we are back on Brothers-in-Law. I'm Rob Mandel.
And I'm Larry Mandel.
And we're so glad to be here talking to all of you out there in Go Country 105. And we're very happy that we follow Debbie the Mortgage Mom as well. What a great show, huh, Larry?
Oh, yeah. Very good.
So, Larry, do you remember when we grew up in the early 60s out in Northridge, which was back then kind of rural?
Suburb,
you remember that?
But rural.
Yeah. You know,
lots of orange trees,
horse ranches, all kinds of cool stuff. And just like not even 2 miles away from our house in the summer,
camp.
You could go to this summer
camp.
Camp Fun Time, which was a day camp. And, you know, it was kind of a little funkadoo. You know, it was maybe on an acre of land, and you know, you do your little crafts, arts and crafts, and, you know, shoot some at bows and arrows and stuff like that. It wasn't the full-blown experience, I don't think.
Yeah, you know, in fact, I don't remember too much about that because it wasn't that memorable, I guess.
But I had a shirt that said Camp Fun Time on it.
You still have that shirt?
Probably not, but it was fun.
But talk about a more memorable camp. Today, we have a special guest, Andy Wexler, who owns Pali Adventures, Pali Camp. It's located in Lake Arrowhead area, and so it's an honor and pleasure to introduce Andy Wexler of Pali Adventures.
One of the great summer camps, really, in Southern California.
I'd say in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Pali Adventures, but before we go there, let's hear a little bit about your background and how you started this camp.
I guess in 1990, I decided it would be, first in 1989, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer and follow.
God forbid.
Yay, lawyers.
Good choice, man. The other way you went.
Yeah.
Yep. So my parents recommended that I go to New York and work in a law firm.
Wow.
So after my freshman year at UCLA, I went into Manhattan. I was given my own office on the 51st floor of some big office building, and there was a whole wall of boxes behind me. And I said, what's my job? They said, you need to digest those depositions. And I still remember it was on something called FASB 13.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're done, let us know. And that's what I did the entire summer.
Oh, my God. What a way to turn someone off to the practice of law.
Yeah.
About 3 days in, I decided I did not want to be a lawyer, but I finished up the summer making my $5 an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And as soon as I got back in September, I decided it might be a good idea to try something different. I was running a youth group at the time and decided running a summer camp could be a lot of fun. So that next June, I started a summer camp with 25 kids. We picked them up. It was all based in Pacific Palisades. We picked them up at home. And every single day, we'd go on different field trips. We'd go water skiing, we'd go to Disneyland, or to the beach, or to a karate studio. And every day was different activities.
Wonderful.
So you just started out of your house, basically, right? Or you had like a little office in your apartment, or what?
It started, that year I was in my apartment for the office, and I'd graduated from Palisades High School 3 years earlier, so I just thought because I went to high school there, I could use that as my camp location.
Yeah.
So for the first...
And that's how you got the name then?
Pali.
Yeah. Started in the Palisades. But yeah, for the first 6 or 7 years, I don't think Pali High, the administration, even knew we were there. And once we were up to about 500 kids and 30 buses, they started going, wait, what are you doing on the campus?
500
That's
kids?
crazy.
How long did it take to get 500 kids and 30 buses?
Probably our 4th or 5th year.
Wow.
That's crazy. But this was all just like tailor-made adventures that you would do something different every day with the buses.
Yeah, by age group. So we had 6 different age groups from 3 to 15. And each age group would go on their group of 3 or 4 adventures a day.
That's amazing.
It was just the kids had such a great time. And it was
That's
so much
crazy.
fun.
I mean, I'd like to do that. I could see having fun just hopping on one of those buses and where are we going today, Andy? You know? So, all right. So how did we get from there to up in the mountains?
Well, and so that was in 1990. In 1995, I convinced my best friend, who didn't go and practice law after his freshman year of college. He ended up going to Chicago Law School, and he graduated and got a job in downtown LA, and hated every second of it. So I convinced him to quit what he was doing and start a group of parenting magazines with me.
Okay.
And that turned into, by the end, we had 6 different parenting magazines: Los Angeles Family and Las Vegas Family and Santa Clarita Valley Family and a bunch of other names.
I remember those publications.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do.
That was good stuff in there in those magazines.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he stopped being a lawyer, and we ran the magazine group together. And as my business, it was great because places like Disneyland and Magic Mountain and the karate studios and the water ski places would trade us for advertisements in the magazine in exchange for going to their activities.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So it was
What a vehicle. That's crazy.
And so now how did you transcend to the Lake Arrowhead area?
So then 5 years after that, 1999, I felt it was time to move from day camp to overnight camp. So after about a 2-year search, we found a camp that had been closed since 1992. And it had 150 beds in it. And we negotiated with the owners, and we ended up buying it I think in November 1999.
Just bought it straight. They bought the land and everything?
Yeah, bought the land and everything.
With the cabins?
Wow.
With the cabins, with the 15, 16 cabins.
And how big is this area we're talking about?
When we bought it, we bought 74 acres initially.
Wow.
74 acres.
Wow.
And so now...
That's a big camp. That's not like Camp Fun Time.
No.
That's a lot bigger than Camp Fun Time.
That's why I don't remember Camp Fun Time. But I bet the kids that go to Pali Adventures, the ones I've talked to, they remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you recall, we had a young client who had, and this is a great testimonial to your camp, and this person, we had no idea, knew your camp, knew you. Right. And just as we were getting her, she had unfortunately had someplace on some premises got hurt very badly. And as we were preparing her case for trial, she was about maybe 13 or 14 when she got hurt, maybe 12. Right. And so now she's like 14 years old, and she was showing us all these pictures of all these great experiences, how she was dealing with her injury and what was helping her deal with her injury. And everything, you turn, and on the shirt it would say Pali Adventures.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd say, wait a minute, were you going to Pali camp? And, oh yeah, that's where I go. I've been going there for like 3 years. And do you know Andy? Yeah, I know Andy. I could tell you her name off the radio, and you'd probably remember her. And it was so cool, to have that kind of tie.
I've been wearing my Pali Adventures. I have a sweatshirt. And the lady ran into me one day and said, "Are you a counselor there?" I'm a little old for that, but
no, you're not. That's your next occupation.
Why not?
It's better than a Walmart job.
Well, look, Andy and his best friend transitioned from lawyer to camp. You and I, Rob, what do you think?
I'd do it, man. Live up there in Arrowhead. Why not?
Yeah.
So all right, so we're off target here.
Yeah, but I want to go also to how it's transformed into how you started up there and what it's like now.
Let's see. So we moved up there in 1999. So it's been about 20 years up there. Now it's very, very different. We have 700 beds at this point. We bought part of our neighbors, so we're 250 acres. And
that's massive.
Yep, it's a lot of fun, and we have 28 different themes.
What are themes?
So kids can come they're pretty much individual summer camps. For example, I know what you'd like. We have a rock star camp.
Okay, yeah, I'd like that. I'm a wannabe rock star in my 60s.
A burned out rock star? Yeah, is that what it is?
Well, you can run that one, Larry.
Yeah.
All right, keep going, Andy.
Yep. So actually, my son this starting tomorrow is going to do Rockstar Camp.
Okay.
Nice.
So Noah's going to learn how to play the guitar. And I asked if he was going to sing, and he said he's not going to sing. But the way that it works is those 15, 20 kids in that program on Thursday night of this week will actually go in front of the 500 kids at camp, and they'll put on a concert.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
So is the whole, when you're doing a theme, is the whole 500 kids doing the rock star thing, or just part of them?
No, we have 28 different themes going on at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So some will have 10 to 20 kids, some will have 30 to 50 kids, and it makes
Yeah.
up the total of 500.
Wow.
Let's hear a couple other interesting themes.
We have a secret agent camp where kids learn how to be spies. We have a movie making camp where they make movies.
Wow.
We have one of the best, we added 7 new ones this year, and one of them's comedy camp. And the kids I saw them last Friday night, were hysterical. Better
Wow.
than I've seen at the Comedy Store. These little 8-year-old and 10-year-old kids were going up there.
and just
they were
coming up with the jokes.
Oh my God. They each had
Yeah.
2 minutes, and it was spectacular.
See, the good thing about that is, and Rob, we've gone to seminars and training where it's hands-on, so the kids get to perform, which, in front of people, public speaking, which is always a big fear. And so
Right.
it takes that element out of them in a camp environment. I think
Right.
it's terrific.
In that kind of protective environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Have you suffered or been injured by someone else's negligence? When you need a legal team that will stand up for what is right, won't give up the fight and obtain justice, call 818-886-6600. Mandel Trial Lawyers specializes in personal injury cases of all types. Whether it's a car accident, product or premises liability, dog bite, or a catastrophic injury, Mandel Trial Lawyers are there for you when the fight is worth it. Call now for your free consultation. 818-886-6600. Let the scales of justice tip in your favor.
Who imagines these things and runs these things? You have people that, in other words, experienced musicians or experienced filmmakers or people like that actually, are there as consultants or
Yeah, we bring in professionals to run each one of the 28 different specialties.
Wow.
Like, for example, this year we have an aviation camp where kids actually get to learn how to fly a helicopter.
A real helicopter?
A real helicopter up a big Bear airport.
And they go up in the air?
They go up in the air, they fly.
That's crazy.
Yep, they spend the week doing virtual reality, learning how to fly drones, how to fly gliders, and then they graduate. And on the last day of their week, they go up to Big Bear Airport and get to fly a helicopter.
And all this training is at the camp itself?
Yes, a couple of our activities, like our motorsports camp, they spend 2 days down in San Bernardino at a race car place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
At what
So
age group?
it has that adventures thing going all the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we have about 150 different activities kids can do while they're there.
That's crazy.
And so what is the age group for the kids?
The kids at summer camp are 8 to 16.
Perfect. See, if you want your teenager out of the house, get the, hey.
But to do something productive.
Yeah, or interesting.
Yeah.
But you get them out. It's like a win-win situation. You get them out of the house, and they're doing something that they'd probably rather be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so, how long are these experiences?
The experiences run for the week, and we have nine weeks of program. The average kid goes 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, but it's 2 or 3 weeks that they never forget.
I see kids, so I've been doing camp since 1990. At least once or twice a week, someone will come up to me and go, I went to your camp in 92 or 93, and that was the best time I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
That's so rewarding if you think about that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, what I keep thinking of, and I have this thought cross my mind in so many of our guests, that start up businesses like this and from nothing and make them into truly something golden like this. What have been your particular challenges? Just from a business standpoint, because obviously we're lawyers and we see the people struggling with all kinds of issues. That
Injury
they face.
related
Well,
issues.
that, but also just people that we meet and we know that have they have various things they have to overcome in order to move the business forward. It's not always just, hey, here I am, right? There's all kinds of challenges. What kind of challenges do you normally face? Or have you faced along the way?
biggest challenges have been employee-based, whether it's giving an employee something that they're not good at and they don't excel, or expecting something, or I guess it's really those types of things.
Yeah.
The more successful, especially when I started, I was 19 years old, and most of my employees were older than me. So it was very hard getting them to listen to you and understand that you're a boss.
Right.
And how to be a good boss was probably the biggest challenge.
So
How to manage people.
Yeah, and you've learned over the years by, trial and error, basically.
It's funny because when you start your business and you're working really hard and your employees are working with you, you sort of think you're all in it together. And you'll be friends with those people forever. And within 10 minutes of them leaving, you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
So it was the transition from being an equal to being the boss to not socializing with the employees, and it's not because you don't like them, but because it's just a different dynamic.
Right.
And
But how do you
that's been a big challenge.
How do you instill passion? Because you have a passion. I mean, it's clear. And we're here on the radio. You can't really see, but you can see when Andy talks about
He loves
his
it.
the joy that he and the just the elation he gets.
And I got to add one thing, and he loves kids too.
Well, yeah. Well, we know Andy personally, and that he's a great
He loves
dad.
kids.
But how do you instill, or can you instill, the passion in your employees that you have for this kind of thing?
I think you have to find somebody that has that passion. So we have a lot of our managers have been there over a decade.
Oh wow!
And those people are the ones that really have the passion. It's more my job to have the vision, and it's their job to carry out, to implement it and carry it out. And for what works really well for me is I need strong managers. So they need to be a strong enough manager, but then at the end of the day to understand that I'm the boss, and they have to listen to what that final decision is and be able to move on with it.
Yeah.
And those are the people that work really well with me.
Right.
So how many employees do you have at the camp, let's say, during the summertime?
During the summer, we have about 225 employees.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're managing 225 people.
It's
He has separate managers.
We have separate managers for each part. So the summer
I
camp
see.
director will manage about 150 or 160. And then we have about like 40 in the kitchen and 10 and 20 in housekeeping and 10 or 20 in facilities. So it's everyone has their little fiefdoms.
But that's a big operation. And so it sounds like, and you're having, how many kids are there at once?
On a high week, we'll be between 400 and 500.
Okay.
So it's
really a
two
two
counselors or
Yeah,
employees?
it's two to one. Yeah.
Wow.
That's very cool.
Stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, brothersonlaw.com.
And so, what would be your advice now? And something
Starting up a business?
Yeah, you got someone who has a dream like you had, and they're 19 years old or they're 20 years old or whatnot. And they just had a bad experience, working at some crazy law firm that made them read crap all day. And so we don't do that to people, do we, Larry? Okay.
I think you have it.
Okay. but so what would be your advice to that person?
Just really find something that you love to do. And if you enjoy doing it all day long, it doesn't really feel like work. And I mentor maybe 4 or 5 different people, and the one thing that I've seen of the people that have been successful is they all have 400 ideas and want to go in 60 different directions.
Yeah.
The ones that are successful are the ones that stick to one idea and they focus on it and they put 100% of their effort in.
Right.
So you're mentoring people that want to get into business or are in business and want to
Correct.
build
That
it up.
are in business and working their way up.
Can you tell when you are mentoring somebody that they have like this propensity towards being successful? How do you figure that out?
And it's really the biggest failures is the people's lack of focus. Is they have 450 great ideas and they try to do 6 of them at the same time. They're all doing great and they think that they can beat everybody in 6 different industries. But until you really spend 100% of your time focusing on that one, you can't win.
Yeah.
And so many people I mentor feel that they're the best in these 5, 6 different ways, and after 1 or 2 meetings, I just see it pointless if they feel that that's what they have to do.
So when you had the buses at the school and you had just you just started out, did you have this vision that someday I'm going to have this land in Lake Arrowhead and this huge camp with all these different, things for them to do, for the kids to do?
Not really, but when I was like 8 years old, I always thought I'd have a town. And this sort of
Andy Town.
Yeah,
It's Andy Town.
yeah. So it sort of went that way, and I had the same mistake. Was when I started the day camp, and then I did the magazines, and then I started a second day camp, and we started a camp search engine, and we were doing like, I don't know, 7 different businesses with people in all of them. As the economy turned, or as I closed the day camp, and then as I closed the magazines, when the economy turned, each time I closed a business, I became more and more successful because I was able to focus on one thing at a time.
That's very, very sound advice, if you ask me. And I think that's very hard for people sometimes, to pick that one thing and just, cast everything else aside. And even though it sounds good over there, it's like you don't want to be that dog chasing the squirrel.
Right.
You want to be laser focused.
Well, it's more fun to chase the squirrel.
It is.
But I'm sure at times were you thinking, this is kind of, where am I going to go with this? Were there like down times where business was just kind of slow, and how do I build this up? What were you thinking in those terms?
I guess it's nowhere near as exciting doing one thing focused.
I see.
But it works. So if your goal is to be comfortable, to be stable, to be able to live the rest of your life and have balance, have a work-life balance, that really works. But no, and then that's why I mentor people, because I spend time with other people. I focus on their ideas. It's fun and it's exciting. But at the end of the day, you spent your hour, you spent your 2 hours, and you move on and do the rest of your life.
Right. So how do you find people that you feel are good with kids?
We have, I don't usually meet people until they've been with me for a couple years, but we have 2 people on our summer camp staff that spend pretty much from October till April traveling the world hiring staff.
Is that right?
So your employees come from all over the world?
Yes.
And what are they looking for? What is the criteria that they, what's that special thing that they're looking for?
It's really interesting. It's more a dynamic. So if you had 2 counselors in your cabin that were level 10 excitement running around all day long, the kids would actually feel a little out of control. So they're sophisticated enough to know that you need one really super high energy counselor, and then you need the down to earth counselor.
Okay, so like me, I'd be the
the
super
down to
high
earth.
energy. Yeah,
the down
me and
to
Larry.
earth. I
Okay,
agree.
so we could be counselors.
I'm loving that.
Oh, man,
All right,
I'm there,
Andy.
man. Yeah.
We're Larry and Rob Mandel, the brothers-in-law, here on Go Country 105. Do you have a legal issue you need help with? We want to hear from you.
Find us on Instagram and send us a message. Then tune in on Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105.
What about just keeping an eye on the kids? As they're doing whatever they're doing, or the heat and that kind of thing. What are the challenges there?
Well, that's probably our biggest challenge when we're looking for somebody that's a professional comedian and also we feel will be appropriate with kids. That's probably our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
We probably went through 100 comedians that we auditioned that just were not kid appropriate.
Yeah, they were all W.C. Fields.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I hate those kids.
There's kids, get them away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Andy, obviously the camp costs money. I mean, people got to pay for this incredible experience. But are there any opportunities for people who are on lower income, for lower income kids?
Yes, we do. We offer a lot of different scholarships throughout the year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So do they get comped basically and come to Pali Camp?
The way that it works is all of our full-time employees each get one scholarship, and they get to decide who to give it to.
Wonderful.
So they could give it to their church, they could give it to their school, they could give it to the next door neighbor, however they want.
That's
to
a
do
great
that.
opportunity. I like that.
That is there a way they can apply for that?
It's not really an apply.
Okay, so it's like a word of mouth thing.
Yes.
Wonderful. But that's great that you're doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah. So there's other activities. I just want to touch on a couple other ones. Like there's zip lining, and what else is there that's kind of interesting?
Well, this year we just put in a Ninja Warrior course. It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same one that they have in American Gladiator. So the kids will go through about 14 different elements on a course, and it's just spectacular.
Wow, that is crazy. And so is this something where almost any kid can go, or is it hard to get into Pali Camp? How does that work?
We start enrollments in September, and we're usually fairly full by April or May.
Okay.
So no, it's a first come first served.
And how do
Yeah.
people get in touch with Pali Adventures, Pali Camp?
They just go right on our website, paliadventures.com, and there's somebody online 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
And that's where they register.
They can actually chat.
They can chat
Okay.
And register.
and register. Yes.
And the parents, if whatever questions the parents might have, they get answered.
Yes.
And how do they get there? Does a mom or dad have to drop them off, or do you have a bus that takes them up? How's that work?
This year we had kids from 44 different countries and 38 different states.
Wow.
So we pick up at Ontario Airport in LAX, and then in Southern California we pick up at the Federal Building, Orange County, and in San Diego with buses.
Wow. The Federal Building on Wilshire and
On Wilshire, yep.
Federal? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a great camp.
From 44 different countries.
So kids, if you're listening out there, tell your folks.
Yeah,
Sounds
kids.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Forget about the Fruit Loops. Go to Pali Camp.
Yeah, get some
Yeah.
get some adventure, get some fun.
Right.
Hey, so we have a tip of the day, Rob.
And?
Yeah. So this is our traveling hack, our producer Cam found on the internet. So Andy, we talk about a tip for people in our show. This is when
Send your kid to Pali Camp.
Yeah, that's our biggest tip.
One tip.
This is for when you have no reception to the internet on your phone. You can download Google Maps for use offline by typing in OK Map. I didn't know this.
Okay.
All you need to do is go on the map of the area you want to save, then type OK Map into the search and press download. Travel safe. Travel stress-free.
Wow. Okay. And what is the purpose of this again? I'm not sure I follow.
This is when you don't have any reception on your
Oh, and you can still see
to
where
the
you
internet
are.
on your phone.
OK Map.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Hey, Andy. True or false? In Louisiana, it's illegal to send a surprise pizza to somebody.
False.
And
I'd say
producer Cam has.
if it's a Cajun pizza.
If it's a
maybe you
Cajun
can.
pizza, it's probably. It's true.
You cannot
Do
send
not
us-
send surprise pizzas to people.
Why do you
in
think that is,
Louisiana,
Rob?
because they didn't have enough Tabasco sauce on it. Probably they're using
That
tomato
doesn't make
sauce
sense to me.
instead. I don't know.
right.
No, what I would think is probably in Louisiana, the pizza delivery guys were complaining that they'd show up with the pizza and the people would say, "We didn't order that pizza."
Well, here, this is what it is. Sending an unprompted pizza is considered harassment, but we sure do wish this would happen to more of us. Triple check your address if you live in Pelican State, Louisiana, or else you may be handing over a $500 fine.
Yeah, I guess they're not big on pizza there in Louisiana.
So
They
do
like
have-
sausage, Cajun sausage.
Rob and Andy, this is time for our message box, the Mandel message
Okay.
box.
Let's check the Mandel message box.
Carol from Orange messaged us. My family and I stayed the night in an indoor water park nearby for fun, a little family getaway. Okay, wait a minute now. I don't know what they're talking about. They stay at an indoor water park? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
probably
we
at a
woke-
hotel nearby.
All right, okay. And they woke up in the morning. We noticed we all had these red bumps or bites. Oh my God, that was, we all know what that is. They itch, and I think we got bitten by bed bugs. I told the front desk, and they comped our room, but they took forever to heal. Do I have any legal recourse? Yes, you do. You
Yes.
got to call the bed bug lawyer.
Who's been on our show?
Yeah, what's
Brian
it? Barrick?
Barrick. Yeah,
Brian
Barrick.
Barrick, the bed bug lawyer.
Yeah.
And you can message us and Carol, and we'll send you his name and number, and you get that.
All right, I think it's about time for our show to end, and it's time that we go out and enjoy our Saturday. We want to thank Andy Wexler for coming down and spending his Saturday morning with us and informing us about his incredible Pali Adventures Camp for kids. And if you missed any part of our show or you want to catch our previous shows, head over to brothersonlaw.com or find us on YouTube. I think it's Brothers on Law Show on YouTube. Please join us next Saturday at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. And remember, Rob,
Let the scales of justice tip in your favor.
The opinions expressed in the Brothers on Law show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal professional legal advice.